Welcome to Atlanta. This is Major League Volleyball on Roku, and this is a rematch of the MLV season opener. It's the Columbus Fury visiting the Atlanta Vibe. We're so glad to have you with us here in Gas South Arena alongside Madison Fitzpatrick, AJ Cannell with you. Really appreciate you being with us on this Thursday night. Atlanta has finished in the top 2 in the league in the MLV each of the last 2 years. This year, though, they're trying to find their identity a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that they have all the pieces that it takes to go on a run. They just have to find their rhythm. They have to find some momentum. They have the pieces. Like I said, they have active middles. They have a good setter. They've got offensive production from the right side. I do think maybe a little bit more production from that left side, and then they have it.
And they, however, lost to Columbus in the opener. A little bit of an upset win at the time for the Fury, but Raina Terry has continued to step up for the Fury.
Raina Terry is a beast. She is physical. She is so much fun to watch. She's one of those players where your eyes just kind of gravitate towards her when she's playing. She leads the league in points per set at almost 5. So to put that into context, I mean, it's just elite numbers. Last time she played, she had 27 kills against Atlanta, and Atlanta really had no answer. She's physical, like I said, and tonight you'll see her on the opposite position where she is just as efficient. Then on the other side of the net, Leah Edmond is an absolute superstar. She leads the league in kills per set. She's aggressive, she's versatile in her attack, and she's a true leader in all 6 rotations that she plays. If Atlanta needs a kill, they look to her. If they need someone to blast a serve, they look to her. If you need a kill out of the back row, it's her. She has her hand in every aspect of this team, and she's such a stability piece.
Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Ren Athletics. Leah Edmond is joined by Taylor Smith this time around on the outside after she stepped in, started the 3rd set in their loss against Grand Rapids last time around. Raven Colvin, their normal starting middle next to Corey Lewis, is out with an injury, so Phoebe Awalea is in. It'll be her first appearance since January 22nd. For Columbus, Akasha Anderson dealing with an injury to her nose, going to be wearing a mask, but she's still in the lineup, making her 2nd straight start, coming off a 10-kill performance in her first career start, a loss against Dallas. Both teams just lost in 3. And Angel Perez feels like his team is close. 3rd-year head coach of the Fury. They just need a little bit more point scoring. Angel is going up against Kayla Banworth, also all 3 years. Should say 2nd year, leading the way for Atlanta. And Coach Banworth really challenging her team to compete, to rise to the occasion. Wants to see that compete level inch up a notch compared to their sweep loss against Grand Rapids.
Yeah, and she said against Columbus, this is a really good litmus test. She said, we're going to have to be gritty. Columbus is a team that competes really, really hard. They never let the other team have it. So she's looking forward to watching her team bounce back. She said they had a really good week of practice. She challenged them to kind of tap into that next gear. So I'm looking forward to see how Atlanta comes out.
Reference this off the top. These teams met up in the season opener. All teams. It was the first meeting of the year, Major League Volleyball, between any teams on January 8th. Columbus won 3-1. It was the Fury's first ever win in Atlanta. They were supposed to meet up in Columbus on January 25th. That got postponed due to the winter storm, pushed back to the regular season finale. So the 2nd of 4 matchups this year between the 2 teams, and it's the insertion into the starting lineup, Phoebe Awalea with an opening kill.
I love the fact that they go straight to Awalea, just right off of the bat. That shows how much Avery Carlson is going to emphasize running through her middles.
And it's Carlson serving, the rookie setter. Now it's Raina Terry hitting outside and connecting for Columbus.
Raina Terry finds so much success, whether she's in a rhythm and they're in system and she's tight to the net, she can find success, but they're around the 3-meter line and still able to power through to get the kill.
An area where Columbus thinks they can exploit Atlanta, get them out of system. That is down on the Atlanta side. It almost looked like a roof, but it was a kill for Akasha Anderson.
Akasha Anderson coming off of 10 kills, hitting .333. Coach said she was a positive point for us last match, and he wants to bring it into this one.
Block didn't get closed quite enough there. Hands were impressed. Anderson digs Edmond. Terry shoves it down. Couple of early kills for Raina Terry.
Okay, analysts, that's exactly what happened on the block earlier, and that's what happened right there. If you're not up in pressed, if you're not evasive over the net at the right time, and there's some space in between you and the net, you're going to get tooled.
That is smashed down by Iko Jones, the second-year right side hitter out of Louisville who hit left side right there.
Yeah, Iko Jones there in transition, hitting out of left. Leah Edmond hitting out of the right. Iko Jones has such a fast snap on the ball, and coach is challenging her to contact it high, to cut it off high.
Back set, Raina Terry. This time the block presses.
And this is going to be a key for Atlanta, emphasizing blocking Raina Terry. Last time they played, she had 27 kills. She punished them. But here, the block is closed. Good hands reaching into the seam by Aulea.
Aulea was a well-traveled player in college, finished her career at Minnesota. Also had played at Loyola Marymount and Georgia, but very effective in the NCAA. Now playing for the second year in the pros. Creative roll shot there by Taylor Smith. And Megan Lush hits it high and hits it over the hands. That's out.
When I talked at the beginning about Atlanta needing a little bit more production from the left side, I was not talking about Leah Edmond. Coach Banworth is trying to find her next outside. There's two outsides, obviously, on a team playing, and so she's trying to find that second outside to score some points, to get some kills. She said Taylor Smith is very well-rounded, and she can be a good stabilizing piece for them. She also is going to need some kills from her.
So for Atlanta, as they're working on the court here, and a wet spot, for Atlanta, it's what other outside steps up consistently outside of Edmond. For Columbus, it's who else besides Raina Terry can score points with their top draft pick, Flor Marie Heredia-Colon, out on injured reserve. Megan Lush this time is dug by Edmond. Iko takes it, sets up Edmond. The block was there on the out-of-system swing. Abby Walker with the stuff.
And that was good by Megan Lush coming in and helping out her middle blocker. Up and pressed at the right time. Really good timing and nice strong hands over the net.
Four touches is the call.
Reagan Pittman-Nelson is so much fun to watch. She is definitely a fan favorite. She's leading the league in blocks and blocks per set.
Iko Jones into the block. Right back to Jones. She is blocked again. This time the stuff, and Reagan Pittman-Nelson with a good celebration.
Pittman-Nelson has really good eyes, following the ball, tracking, getting there, closing, and then you see her palms turn back to area 6. That's how you press over the net.
Service error by Walker. And now Pittman-Nelson tips it. Smith aiming for the line and is off the mark with that swing.
I think Columbus was even saying no touch on that block. But just a little too much over-rotation by Smith, following through a little too much.
Didn't have to end up challenging. A miss anyway. Edmond on the pick. That's where Columbus struggled to defend Dallas last time out.
And Leah Edmond is just as terminal from the back row as she is the front. It's the aggression, it's the momentum in her approach every single time when she goes to attack.
Edmond rolls drills it to the middle, and Atlanta picks up a free one.
Yep, communication error there. 2 players, Hiapo and Terry, both there. Just sometimes that happens. You got 6 players on the court. You got to communicate early. And in a perfect world, you would love your libero to get that one.
New libero, Kamaili Hiapo, making her second straight start after the Serbian free agent addition to the offseason. Alexandra Jegdic was released to sign a contract in Turkey. So the adjustment there for Columbus. Been targeting Terry in the serve receive. Edmond again behind the attack line. Anderson picks up a dig. Terry. And Corey Lewis with the miss. A nice dig there by Rampelberg. But Lewis's miss takes us into a timeout. Technical timeout, 8-7 Columbus in the first set. The Fury have the lead on the road. Tonight's MLV match on Roku Sports is brought to you by Franklin, by Wren Athletics, and by Spalding. AJ Cannell, Madison Fitzpatrick with you. Gas South Arena in Duluth, Georgia, the home of the Atlanta Vibe. Both teams coming off a sweep loss. Columbus lost at home against Dallas last Saturday. Atlanta against Grand Rapids on the road last Saturday. Hiapo digs Aiko Jones. Jones tried to dig Terry, but that is tough to do.
Back-to-back D-ball attacks. Aiko Jones, great dig by Hiapo, setting up Raina Terry, who coach told us she hit 600 on that back row attack. That is extremely efficient from the D.
Carlson to Smith. Off the block touch. Anderson uses the block, powers it through, and collects a kill. Akasha Anderson out of Purdue.
Coach Perez said he's got no problems, no worries about Akasha Anderson's attack. He said she's big, she's physical. He's got no concern there with her attack and her blocking. It's serve receive, and when she gets targeted, that could be her Achilles heel, but we'll see. Why
they use Raina Terry sometimes instead of her in serve receive, even though Terry is playing on the right side. It eventually went all the way across and out, so it's a point there for Atlanta.
Good set by Avery Carlson, and then you see the quick attack by Taylor Smith. Super fast arm swing.
Tool kill for Reagan Pittman Nelson, the third-year pro out of Minnesota. First year with Columbus. Played her inaugural season with Atlanta.
Yep, and Reagan's one of those that can really get going offensively. She struggled last match, so I like that they're getting her going early to get her into a rhythm.
That was a great back set there by Ashley Evans, connecting once again with Raina Terry.
Yeah, Ashley Evans is a really good commander of the offense. She runs it balanced, but she also knows Raina Terry is the go-to. She's the hot hand. She can find Raina Terry on that D-ball perfectly. Really got her body behind it and pushed it all the way to her right shoulder.
Fourth kill already for Terry. On the slide, Walker. Setters always win, but Columbus kept it alive. Faster tempo set. It worked to get the ball outside to Leah Edmond.
And that's why you run that tempo, because you want to put stress, you want to put pressure on the block. The block doesn't have as much time to get up, set, and press. So in that case, Leah Edmond was beating the block and not allowed to the tool.
That's the third kill for Edmond, something that Kayla Banworth preaches. They want to run that fast offense, especially in transition. Evans pushes Anderson. Aiko Jones can gobble up those digs, and it leads to a transition point once again, the fourth kill for Edmond.
Leah Edmond and Raina Terry are like matching bookends whenever it comes to stats. They are the go-tos for their team. We're going to be calling their name a lot. And what I love about both of them is they don't fear the block. Leah Edmond, the block is there. She doesn't care. She's going to whip her arm through it and power through it.
That's what a pro does, right? Especially an elite level pro like Edmond, who right now is leading the league in kills per set, was the league MVP 2 years ago. Healthy block touch there. Evans to Walker once again, trying to feed the middles more. Terry, someone is in the net. That was Atlanta on the way down.
No question about that one. That net was moving up and down. Really good rally, both teams. Seen a lot of good block touches.
Anderson punctuates it with a block touch kill.
And what I love about where we're sitting, you can really hear the communication that's happening on the court. You can hear her teammates for Anderson screaming, line, line. So she goes up. She's got about a foot of space, but she's swinging over Aver Carlson. There's a little bit of a height disparity there. So that line was wide open for Anderson.
The missed serve there, but Anderson, who you mentioned, Coach Perez has no issues with her offensively. It's really just the serve-receive side of it. Coming off 10 kills in her first career start, already a 3-for-7 start for a well-traveled college player. Went from Auburn to Michigan State to Purdue. Had a great NCAA career. Terry tucks that one inside. And we're going to take a timeout with Columbus bursting out in front, 16-11 in the first. The nation's top volleyball stars are headed to Orlando as Major League Volleyball will hold the second All-Star match in league history, and you can be there. Tickets are now on sale for the historic contest on Saturday, March 28th, which will be broadcast live on CBS and Paramount Plus. Get your tickets now by visiting provolleyball.com/All-Star 2026.
That was such a fun event. The best of the best in the United States in pro volleyball, battling it out. And one of the most fun things about this is we have MLV All-Star fan voting, which begins on Thursday. So if you visit provolleyball.com/vote, you can have the chance to choose 2 players per position. That is so much fun, and you can have a say on who goes to the All-Star game.
It's been a busy week around this league with the announcement of the fan voting that you just mentioned, plus the Comerica Center in Dallas announced as the home of the 2026 MLV Championship and semis. So we're looking forward to all that. 2 great locations in Orlando to host the All-Star match and then Dallas to host the championship. Columbus has come out, though, and they've taken it to Atlanta. in the first set, and Lush puts away the overpass, 18-12.
The timing on that jump was perfect. If you're not on top of it and snapping, you're going to hit it out or you're going to be mistimed. It's going to be in the net. But Megan Lush has such a high volleyball IQ. She knows exactly when to jump, exactly when to snap. And that's almost a gimme for professional volleyball players. An overpass like that, no one up, that one's yours. It's a kill every time.
And we heard Kayla Banworth, Atlanta head coach, tell us that she just didn't think her team, she said, I mean, we hear it all the time, but she said it, didn't think her team was ready to play in their loss against Grand Rapids, and it's been a similar start for them today. But Columbus has been responsible for a lot of it. They lead Major League Volleyball in blocks per set. Reagan Pittman-Nelson was last year's leader across the league. She's right up there once again. And nobody's scoring more points than Terry when you combine both her blocking and also her offense.
Yeah, it's what Raina Terry's been able to do offensively, defensively, the net defense side's been so good. And now she's on the opposite position, so they're having her block the outsides. So that's a good way for her to rack up some more blocks. Angel
Perez felt like, if you look across the league, that area of the court, the opposite position, is an area where they can exploit. They feel like they insert Raina Terry there in her efficiency level, and she can immediately be one of the best opposites in the league. So far, she has been this year. Here she is. Oh, yeah. Raina Terry showing why.
And that was a dime of a pass. Ashley Evans did not have to move her feet. Iapo, dime, right? Moved her feet a little bit, but it's a perfect pass. Right on top of her head. Raina Terry did a good job at getting her feet to the ball, swinging high and over the block.
Aiko Jones answers and connects with Angel Perez to end the point officially.
Aiko Jones is coming off of a team-leading 13 kills, and coaches challenged her to swing high, to cut off that ball at a higher point in the air, to use all that height. She said she touches 10-7 or 10-8. She doesn't need to be hitting at the net. Well, that was a really good example of what it looks like when you contact it high and cut it off.
She checks out in the dub sub. Atlanta's been very good in this part of the game the last couple of years. Anna Dixon, second straight year in that dub sub role with the Vibe. Edmond digs Pittman Nelson. This is Dixon. She comes into the match and usually converts for the Vibe.
What I like about Anna Dixon is she's a gamer, no matter what her role is. If she's a starter, if she's in the dub sub, you can just see it in her eyes. She knows her role. She knows why she's here. That was a really solid swing. She's very aggressive.
Shannon Shields is the dub sub setter. The backup behind Carlson. Rampelberg pops it up. Out of system, Smith. Lush tries to feather that down. Evans decides to put this over. Edmond read that all the way. Back set to Corey Lewis. Off the block touch, Pittman Nelson. Rampelberg reads. Smith into the block. Coverage by Rampelberg. Back set Dixon. Cover by Lewis. Here comes Edmond. Read by Evans. Terry finds the middle to end the longest point of the night.
Raina Terry has so much versatility in her attack. Her go-to is the power. It's the strong, deep swings to the corners. But when she takes something off of it, it's smart because the defense is on their heels. They're not ready for that off-speed shot to the donut.
Columbus has the cushion. This match heating up, though, right now. Atlanta wants the block touch, and that's the call. Block touch, point for the Vibe. After that really long rally, a good answer for Atlanta.
Taylor Smith is a little bit undersized, so you'll see her running a faster set. That's when she's at her best. When she's in a rhythm, she's able to use that explosiveness to beat the block, but there, got the high hands.
Where did Smith go to school?
Florida State, baby. Arkansas and then Florida State. Really solid sixth rotation player both places.
Smith was an All-American. Unlike you, she was an All-American not at Florida State. She was at Arkansas. She got that All-American nod.
Yeah, I was an All-American at Florida State. She was an All-American in Arkansas, and I was such a fan of hers. I think she was my first college volleyball game that I ever called, and I was just so enamored by her clean touch, how she was able to score no matter her height, her athleticism. She's a really good all-around six rotation player.
Kayla said she feels like right now she's their best ball control outside hitter. On the slide, Walker block gets the better of her, but Anderson kept the point going. Smith showing some ball control, setting up Dixon, the assist for the outside Taylor Smith.
Coach Banworth played around a little bit with Anna Dixon and Aiko Jones and who to put in when. She said that Anna Dixon was a little bit more offensive. Well, now Aiko Jones is making up for that. She's offensive as well, so that's a really hard decision on who to start. But what I love is whenever Anna Dixon comes in, she's able to show that power and that athleticism right out of the gates. That swing so powerful, it caught Ranateri a little bit high. When it's coming at you that fast, it's difficult to get underneath it and pass it up.
Let's take a look at, even though we're in a timeout here with Atlanta feeling some momentum, the first set has been controlled by Columbus, and Ranateri is 7 for 11.
I mean, 7 kills in the first set, hitting 545 in a position that she's not even as used to. She's usually 6 rotation outside. She's been playing right side, but she's extremely efficient no matter where she attacks the ball from. She's that kind of player you can run her on both pins and she'll be just as effective. It's the height at which she contacts the ball. It's the physicality. And I talked to her the other day. She's very grounded, super humble. You would have no idea that she's an absolute superstar leading the league in points.
Ava Martin coming in to serve. And she's off the mark there, hitting the top of the tape. There have been 9 service errors between the two teams so far in the first set. Terry. That's out. Columbus's cushion put them in still a good position here, but Atlanta's made this closer.
Ranateri trying to be smart there. We know exactly what she was doing. She was trying to tip high off the fingertips. Just wasn't able to grab any. But you're right, 3-point lead. They need a side out here, though, because Atlanta can still go on a run.
The setter back to serve. Terry from the left side, a place where she's normally comfortable, but she's rejected. It's now a 2-point difference.
Phoebe Awole coming in and making such an impact. One of her strengths is how quickly she moves laterally. Watch her get her feet there and then dive her arms into that seam. It's about the reach and the press to kind of close off that gap in between her and Aiko Jones.
Played last year with Omaha. Her role started small and then increased throughout the season. By the time the end of the year rolled around, she was starting most of the time for Omaha. This time, Terry, too much. And Columbus is 2 points away.
Ranateri, 8 kills now. Next highest, Akasha Anderson on her team with 3. And then you've got 2 1-kill performances. So Ranateri carrying a large load again.
What you'd expect. And for Atlanta, they lean on Edmond. She sides out quickly, brings Atlanta within 2.
Nice fast set by Avery Carlson to Leah Edmonds, swinging high over the block that wasn't set.
Now Evans to Lush, and Lush is sent packing. Atlanta within 1. Timeout Columbus.
We knew this was going to be a blocking battle. Columbus Fury leads the league and blocks. Atlanta Vibe second in opponent efficiency, holding opponents to 219 and second in dig, so their defense is really good as well. You know, a couple weeks ago when I spoke to Kayla Banworth, she said a strength of their team is they're really good at blocking, and she said at the end of the season she really does believe that they'll be elite. She says the physicality for their net defense is such a positive point for their team.
I mean, this first set, it looked like this was Columbus's. You know, they came out, Ranateri on fire, and had enough of a lead that it looked safe. But Atlanta has come roaring back, and within 1 point, putting a lot of match pressure on the Fury. and a great server in Leah Edmond behind the line. Going for Anderson, she handles it well. Terry has an opportunity. Rampelberg laid out. Smith off the hands. Anderson contorts herself. Two players combined to save it. Evans got down there as well, but a free ball. Edmond, the pick in transition there. It's a 7-2 run for Atlanta.
And it's a straight down attack. That's what most players can do from the front row. But no, she's doing it from behind the 3-meter line. Watch her identify the hands of the blockers. Middle blocker and right side blocker. She sees all four of those hands so well and is able to split the difference in between with all of that precision.
Tough spot for Columbus with no timeouts left. Short serve causing trouble. Taylor Smith gives the 5-set point.
Volleyball is a game of momentum, and when you get confident, let's say you get a stuff block that goes straight down just like Atlanta did, it kind of bleeds into the rest of your game. It gives you some confidence, and now they're on a roll.
Another short serve. Terry can't side him out. Jones for the set. Yes! Atlanta comes all the way back to win the first set.
Amazing comeback win. Coach Caleb Amler said, I know we're going to have to be gritty. Columbus is a gritty team, so we're going to have to fight through this, and that's exactly what they just did to win that set.
Hard to see that coming as well as Columbus started, but Aiko Jones ends the first set, Atlanta by 2. It was a 9-2 run to close the first set by Atlanta. They closed a huge deficit and won the first set 25-23 at home. Looked like Columbus was going to take that first set, but Aiko Jones did for Atlanta. The first set stats are brought to you by Spalding. Columbus started hot, but Atlanta buckled down defensively and held them to 182.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's who can get hot at the end. Atlanta really surged forward. They were more efficient in the later half of that set. And also, Atlanta was just more balanced offensively. You had a bunch of players on the board in kills. Smith had 3, Leah Edmond had 5, Iko Jones had 4, Anna Dixon had 2. The dub sub was really great there. Whereas Raina Terry was the main point scorer for Columbus. She had 8. So I just think Raina Terry needs some help. We need a couple other players to just get a couple kills because the balance of Atlanta's offense made it difficult for the Fury to have their kind of blocking dominance that they usually have.
And it makes you wonder how much Columbus is missing Flor Marie Heredia-Colon, the NCAA kill leader as a senior out of Miami, who was their top draft pick and is currently out on injured reserve. She was their second-round pick. Awolea started the first set with a kill, and she starts the second set that way.
That was really good of her to be up in the air and available. As a middle, you got to transition off the net quick. You have to be an option every single time in transition. She does a good job at being quick in the air and being up and available.
All Big Ten second team at Minnesota to close her career. Speaking of the Big Ten, Akasha Anderson gets a swing, but that's off the mark. To finish up on the whole point about Columbus's roster needing some more point scoring, the other thing, too, is they didn't have a first-round pick because they traded each of their last 2 first-rounders to Atlanta for Tori Dilfer-Stringer. It's Terry with the swing, and that is wide. And Atlanta, I mean, if you actually go ahead and count this back to the first set, they are on a 12-2 run. And that prompts a timeout by Columbus.
Good math, yeah. That's really impressive. That's momentum carrying from the end of the set to this one. And what was impressive about that last play, Atlanta was up on the block and pressed. And so sometimes when that attacker feels that kind of blocking presence in front of them, they think, okay, I need to go outside myself. I need to hit really sharp. I need to do something extreme to get this ball in because the block is so in my face. And that's what caused Raina Terry to hit out. She felt that blocking presence.
We'll just mention how there was that trade a few years ago involving Tori Stringer, and it resulted in multiple first-round picks for Atlanta each of the last 2 years, gave them the ammunition to actually trade up and get Merritt Beeson first overall. Beeson is now with Omaha, but all the same, they have 3 of those 4 on their roster still. Beeson contributed last year, and they're utilizing 2 first-round picks this year. Carlson was their own selection at number 7, and Ava Martin was the number 2 overall pick, which was the possession of Columbus's before that trade. Back to normal, though, after this season. Columbus will finally have a first-round pick of their own next year. Coming out of the timeout, it is another Atlanta point. Iko Jones makes it 4-0.
Iko Jones displaying some range there, swinging down the line, not cross-body like she usually does, but thumb down, swinging away from her body, tooling off the block.
Man, Atlanta put out the fire in the first set. It's just been all vibe. Edmond playing with such confidence, but a great dig by Megan Lush. Terry blast down.
That's what you get in Megan Lush. You have the expert ability to read the opposing attack. She's got such good eye work, and a lot of middle back is reading, so she read that beautifully, extended out, good pass, getting it to her setter, and then leave it to Raina Terry with all that power to get the kill.
Former Serie A1 Super Cup MVP, such a decorated player. Megan Lush, former back-to-back national champion at Penn State. Now the Fury gaining a little foothold here. Point scored there. It's 4-2 with Anderson, the server. Fresh off an Elite 8 appearance with Purdue, her final year. Good coverage play by Smith. Terry into the block. Columbus covers. Carlson to Jones, hitting left side, dug by Anderson, saved off the net by Evans. Diving play by multiple members of the Vibe, but it's not enough, and it's a Fury point.
And I think we were going to get a Fury challenge if they didn't just win that point. I could hear their players screaming. That was a back row setter. They think she reached above the net, send it over. It was a long rally, but Fury saves their challenge, didn't challenge it, and we move on there. chipping away at this lead, now only down by 1.
2 points scored in a row with Anderson serving, but she misses that.
And this is something that Coach Perez told us they were going to try to do. They want to serve short, and they want to mix in the deep, so almost like yo-yoing the opposing serve-receive line. Deep to the back line and then short.
I love when he said that they noticed that teams across the league don't handle short serves well. But part of the reason is teams don't serve short a lot. They're also kind of uncomfortable serving short. He wants to see his team serve short more. Off the tape into the court. It's inbounds for Iko Jones.
And that's what happens when you get on top of the ball like Coach Banworth wants her to do. You're able to attack at these angles. The higher you hit, the more angles you'll be able to create for yourself. And that was beautifully done.
Well, we just talked about those draft picks. When Merritt Beeson was picked #1 overall, it felt like that was her job to lose at opposite last year. Iko Jones more or less wound up winning that competition, and she remains with Atlanta this season. Atlanta wasn't quite sure of the stoppage. The whistle was hard to hear.
So I believe that they're calling Corey Lewis under the net because I just heard Leah Edmonds say the full foot. So if the full foot does go over that center line under the net, it is a violation. If a part of your foot is on the line and it's over, that's okay.
The whole rest of your body, we learned, could be over. It's just your foot. One of the weirder rules. In that case, Lewis called for the violation. Like the way Rampelberg is playing. Hiapo, good answer. Set wasn't on target. Tell you what, Taylor Smith may be more known for her passing, but she's showing off the arm as well.
And that's what you have to do as an undersized outside attacker. You've got to power through the block. You've got to be explosive. Use your athleticism to your advantage. And she does just that. Let's take a look at this call. Yep, full foot over the center line.
That is an entire foot over. Yeah, that's right.
Call.
It was that previous point. It was also weird because I thought the whistle was hard to hear. And the players weren't sure the point was actually done. But it was the right call. On the slide, Reagan Pittman-Nelson.
That was a beautiful pass, beautiful set, nice tempo slide. Reagan Pittman-Nelson loves that slide attack. Coach said we don't want her to be married to it, but it's very effective. So he wants her to mix in front of the setter and behind, but that's such an effective attack by her.
You saved the marriage for actual.
Off the court.
Reagan Pittman, now Reagan Pittman-Nelson. Timeout in the second set. There was the massive first set comeback by Atlanta. Columbus has gained some ground back after that 4-0 hole in the second. Hey, welcome back to Atlanta in a rematch of what was the MLV season opener back in early January. Columbus won that one. Well, how about for the first year Dallas Pulse, Sophia Maldonado Diaz was named MLV Player of the Week, in part because of her performance against Columbus. But even more so because of her performance against Omaha. 30 kills, tied for the second most in a single match.
Yeah, she was absolutely electric that match. I remember watching and just thinking, this girl cannot be stopped. She's so fast, too. She's one of those players that's so much fun to watch because of how quick the set is, because of how fast her arm swing is. She's just a true athlete, and 30 kills is almost unheard of.
What a combination they found with her and Collier on the outside for a first-year franchise. Dallas is continuing to trend upward, but Akasha Anderson is as well for Columbus coming off the technical timeout.
Yeah, Columbus needs more of that. They need more Akasha Anderson. Right now, 4 kills. She's only been set a total of 9 times, so I'd look to see them get her the ball more and use her.
Evans to Anderson. There you go. 5th kill for Akasha Anderson.
Nice high swing by Akasha Anderson. The block was up. Nice tall block. Corey Lewis getting all the way there, but no. She swung high off of the hands, following through really nicely.
Recently took a shot to the face in practice. That's the reason for the mask. Aiko Jones behind the attack line, dug by her counterpart. Couple of junk sets lowering the hitting percentage for Anderson, but Edmond comes down to the floor.
First of all, Megan Lush, that out-of-system set was phenomenal. The precision location of that was just incredible, but leave it to Leah Edmond to finish the rally. Carlson's really in a rhythm with her outside hitters right now, and Leah Edmond almost swatting that ball down because she's so on top of it.
And that was her 6th kill, Leah Edmond, 333. But I really appreciate what Columbus has done in this set. The fact that they were down 4-0 after sustaining that huge Atlanta run to end the first set, and then putting their mind back together, getting this turned around. Evans, what a dig against Edmond, and they score off of it.
One of the reasons why that play was not done off of that swing is because Abby Walker went up into the air. She wasn't even totally crushed, but she went up almost like a soft block with her hands above her head, and she got the block touch, and then it kind of ricocheted. So just really good quick twitch reflexes by the Columbus Fury. Like you said, you can never count them out. They are gritty. They're a grinder, never say die kind of team.
First lead of the set for Columbus. Anderson's decision to tip caused some problems. Opens up the set for Terry. I give a little credit to Anderson there. She got them ahead of the point.
Most definitely. And Brandon Terry, they're finishing the play. Even though the set was tight and Leah Edmond was up, I love this matchup. 2 just elite attackers and blockers. But Brandon Terry able to use just about 2 inches of space down the line to swipe it off of Leah Edmond's hand.
Terry now in double figures with 10 kills. Here she is again, this time covered by Anderson, who has to load back up out of system. She deserves some help there. Coverage play again by Columbus. Anderson dug by Edmond on the short angle. Walker had enough of that one and bounces the ball.
Coach Perez said Abby Walker just keeps getting faster. He said she is the fastest middle in the league by far. Look at this speed gap set. So there's a space in between the blockers. And with how quick she is, the block is still on their way up when she's attacking that ball down.
And that's to end a lengthy point where the middles are working harder than anyone. Step back up and set up the block. Terry takes the credit.
Coach said Brandon Terry's a big physical block, so he loves the fact that she's up against Leah Edmond. Really strong hands, nice discipline by her over on that side.
5-0 run by Columbus. Timeout, Atlanta. The Five are in 5th place in Major League Volleyball, even in the loss column, with 6-5 Orlando and 7-5 Omaha. These teams are actually tied in part because of that weather-related postponement for the fewest games played, fewest matches played in the whole league. Indian first, Dallas in second. Columbus right now staring up at everyone, but it's still early enough. It's a 28-match season that, I mean, they look like a team that's better than the last place team.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that just speaks to the talent of this season's every single team this season. We've seen so many five-setters. It is the most tightly contested season that the MLV or PBF, when it was, has had, and I would expect a lot of shifting and moving in these standings as we enter postseason.
Hammered by Aiko Jones, but she misses wide, and Columbus continues to pile it up. There's the MLV replay system look, the automated in-out, close, but out. Another one for Kasha Anderson.
One of the areas of the Fury's game that Coach Angel Perez says needs to improve is in transition, putting the ball away, being precise with your out-of-system sets. The Fury has done a really good job in this set of putting the ball away in transition and giving themselves opportunities to do so as well.
7-0 run for Columbus. Reload for Edmond. Not going to happen. 8 straight.
That's what a good, strong block does. Block is up and pressed in the line. She's only got that sharp 4-to-4 area, and when you're not on top of it perfectly with how narrow those margins are, it's easier to err.
This is a technical timeout because the team has reached 16 points. Atlanta will take it, though. Welcome back to Atlanta. For the second straight season, Major League Volleyball fans will be able to have a major influence on which stars will take the court for the 2026 Advent Health MLV All-Star Match. Fan voting starts today. Head to provolleyball.com/vote to make your selections.
That's so much fun. Get involved, see your favorite players play in the MLV All-Star Game. How much fun is it to have a say in who gets to go? That's a blast.
That's another one going Columbus's way, coming out of the timeout. The only question would have been block touch, because you can clearly see the ball is out. There was no block touch called. And Columbus steps up, blocks Awalea.
In this set, the vibe hitting around 0. So the Fury's defense has really picked it up. I wouldn't even say just net defense. Floor defense, they've been doing a good job at making plays, extending rallies, and giving themselves a chance.
It was 9-8 Atlanta. How about 18-9 Columbus from there? 10 straight points. Evans continues to serve. Atlanta making changes, as you would when you're sustaining a 10-0 run the other way. 11-0 run. Anderson to the floor.
It just looks like Atlanta a little tentative right now, and Columbus has control of the momentum, the tempo. They've done a good job offensively putting the ball away. It's really good shot selection by Anderson there.
7th kill for her. Atlanta's put Anna Dixon and Shannon Shields in on the right side. Madeline Isringhausen is in for Edmond. And finally, Atlanta scores and snaps the 11-0 run.
Almost like a trap set there. That set very inside. The block was up and pressed. Brandon Terry pushed it as far as she could, but trap set because Akasha Anderson has to go so far inside. Her feet aren't to the ball. She's not able to take a big rip.
Kept Dixon in the lineup, the right side playing back row. She misses the serve. Combined, the two teams have each missed 7 serves. So 14 combined missed serves, 7 each, and no aces so far for either team. Shields connects with Phoebe Awalea.
The Vibe took Leah Edmond out in this set. 1 kill on 10 attempts, hitting in the negative, so they need someone to step up offensively. Awalea has stepped up throughout the entirety of this match. She's been a very consistent attacking piece for them when they've given her the ball.
It's not very often you see former league MVP Leah Edmond, who's having a great year as well this year, leading the league in kills, lifted in the middle of a set like this. So Hiapo wanted the point. No block touch there. So it is a point for Columbus.
Rambleberg putting in that work, though. She's had a phenomenal performance. Just laying out for that one arm is a really good read. She's made some shocking plays, some kind of wow defensive plays for her tonight.
She has stepped up. She passed the ball really well against Grand Rapids, but they wanted more floor defense from her, and she has given them that with 11 digs already.
Yeah, for sure.
Wanted more floor defense from the whole team, something they've been talking about.
She said she pushed them really hard this week in practice on that floor defense.
That starts with the libero, obviously. Awalea continues to groove for the Atlanta Vibe.
It's really good chemistry with Shannon Shields and Awalea. Shields stepping into the lineup, doing a really good job at finding the hands and the arms of her attackers and running through the middle as much as she can.
Giving her the ball a lot. Already double-figure attack. She has 4 kills. She has 3 blocks. But that one is put down hard by Megan Lush. Columbus back in front by double figures.
Megan Lush has a very fluid swing. Nothing about it is jagged. She's a very fluid, kind of rhythmic kind of player, just flowing into that approach and then driving through the ball so gracefully.
Corey Lewis kills it on the slide.
And this is an area of the Vibes game that they just need a little bit more point production from. We know Corey Lewis can score points in a really high volumes, can be really efficient, but they're challenging her to be up more in transition and to run a faster set, something that she's not as used to. So, of course, that takes a little bit of time to get used to.
Well behind her point scoring pace of last year when she was top 10 in the entire league in points scored from the middle position. Hiapo gives it to Megan Lush. Pittman Nelson, and they can't save it. Reagan Pittman Nelson for Columbus.
Pittman Nelson is also one of those players where, yes, she's really good at scoring points, sometimes 8 to 13 points per match. When she gets going, she's really good. She's also an emotional leader. Her cheers and how she reacts to when she scores is kind of contagious to the rest of the team. Right now, if you're Atlanta, you're trying to gain some momentum to take into the next set.
It'll be interesting to see who they put out there to start the third set. Will some of these subs stick in the rotation? Pittman Nelson has been fired up all night.
There's a reason why she's leading the league in blocks and blocks percent. She's so disciplined. She's tracking the ball. She's not cheating one way or the other. She's waiting, she's reading, she's jumping into the air, and then throwing her arms over the net with that strong press.
They'd like to get Corey Lewis going more, as we just talked about. They have gotten her a couple of kills late in the set, but they're still down big.
Yeah, when she attacks that ball, the high contact that she can, I mean, she just creates so many angles for herself.
Walker on the slide. Lewis digs. Taylor Smith behind the attack line for Atlanta.
That big, which is a faster version of the pipe middle back row attack, it can really be so dangerous when these players are quick, they're fast, they're seeing the block, and then they're swinging away.
Another set point opportunity. And Dixon hits that. Columbus on a 10-0 run, making 11-0 in the middle of the set. Counters and evens this matchup at one set apiece, 25-16. The authoritative win in the second set for the Columbus Fury after they were up big in the first set as well. But Atlanta came back on a 9-2 closing run. Atlanta took a 4-0 lead to start the second set, but Columbus controlled it 25-12 from there. Raina Terry already with 10 kills on 25 swings. Let's go to Madison.
All right, Raina, you go on an 11-point run in that set. What kind of fueled that momentum to get it on your side?
Honestly, I think we were just going for it, taking risks, and we have nothing to lose at this point, so we're just going to go for it. We're never going to back down.
You held Atlanta in that set to under 100 efficiency. What was working for you guys defensively?
Same thing. We were just going for it. We're scrapping. We're trying to get everything up that we can, and it starts with block, too. We're trying to focus on making a good setup for our backcourt and make good reads.
Awesome. Thank you, Raina.
Thank you.
Was 5 different times at Illinois, their leader in kills for the season. Comes to the pros in her second year with Columbus, and she continues to improve and has shined in this one. Huge run for Columbus to even this matchup. Welcome back in the intermission. We're down to the semifinals of this long-winded game of musical chairs while trying to set a volleyball. I feel like Madison Fitzpatrick would be pretty good at this as they've now eliminated it to
I'm so competitive. I would win that.
Oh, yeah, you would. Match summary through 2 sets. So remember, the team that jumped out ahead has lost each of the first 2 sets. Columbus looked like they were going to win that first set for sure. 9-2 closing run for Atlanta. Then in the second set, they continued that run, made it 13-2, went up 4-0, and Columbus won almost every point, it felt like, from there.
And Columbus in that second set was totally fueled by their defense. 3 blocks, 29 digs to Atlanta's 17. They held Atlanta to a low hitting efficiency that set.
Leah Edmond got lifted and is hitting just 143. Anderson and Terry have a total of 17 kills. We'll take a timeout once again here in Atlanta. AJ Cannell, Madison Fitzpatrick, as we continue on. We know we're going at least 4 here in Gas South Arena. Second of 4 matchups this season between Columbus and Atlanta. It's been historically a close series. Atlanta leads all time 5-4, but Columbus won in the season opener on January 8th. Lineups are much different for both teams, though, since that season opener, as you'd expect. Interested to see. You would expect Atlanta to probably go back to their original lineup, at least for now, despite a lot of the subs late in that blowout second set. And it looks like they are. Edmond, Carlson are both back in. Raina Terry, an opportunity, first point of the third set. Evans takes a peek, sets Walker. Carlson back sets Jones, has to lean for it, and Walker and Anderson take advantage on the double block.
And that's exactly what fueled their second set win, is the blocking, is the discipline, the shutdown blocks, and the digging. 29 digs to Atlanta's 17. Their floor defense for Columbus was really good in that set as well.
As a result, Atlanta had 10 kills and 9 hitting errors. in the second set. Carlson to Phoebe Awalea. Evans to Akasha Anderson. Diving play by Evans to cover. Awalea in transition. Hiapo got a piece of it. Evans has made 2 saves during the point, but that ball lands out.
Really good rally. Abby Walker, very impressive throughout that rally, moving so quick side to side, getting good touches on the ball. The free ball just missing a little too far out.
When you say quick, do you mean hard worker, or does Abby Walker just physically have more speed than most middles?
Great question. I think she physically has more speed. She's quick on her feet. So a lot of times, like, you can read it, and it'll take a middle a little bit longer to get there, but with just how quickly she pushes off the ground and moves laterally, she's able to do it, and it looks easy.
Carlson serves at Raina Terry. Terry goes past to attack, and another attack, but the set was off from Evans.
Yep, that set too far outside. Nothing really that Raina Terry could do with that. Set up her approach inside, that set too far outside. But that's how much of a load Raina Terry gets. She just attacked that ball, just got blocked, and then they're going to go right back to her.
And we have our first ace of the match. The teams before that ace by Avery Carlson had combined for 15 service errors and no aces. The passing has been good, but not there.
That was a rare miss by Megan Lush, passing 67% before that, good or positive.
2 in a row, you get none through the first 2 sets, and Avery Carlson dials up 2. She'd had just 4 on the season coming in.
And it's a nice flat float serve, so it's dipping and diving at the last moment, and that one specifically was in the seam, so that's difficult because Raina Terry thinks it's coming to her, and at the last minute it shifts to the left, goes more towards Megan Lush. Nice movement on that float serve.
Carlson showing what she can do behind the service line, but I think her development as a setter, as a rookie, they've had 3 different players start this year at setter for Atlanta, all younger players, and getting her more incorporated, finding that setter-hitter connection, especially with the middles, talking about Corey Lewis trying to improve. Carlson is essential.
Absolutely, and Coach Banward said, yes, that most definitely takes time. She's really proud of the progression. She said Carlson understands how to run an offense in a way that picks the defense apart. She's good at that. She said the location's been good. The only negative, she needs to get that go set a little bit farther outside, more to the pin.
Another well-traveled college player in her home state of Texas, played for 3 different colleges, finished her career at SMU, where she was a second-team All-American. Columbus burned the timeout early and uses that to its advantage. 4-2. Quick side out, though, for Taylor Smith and Atlanta.
And sometimes with that middle back attack, you'll use it as an outlet, so that pass more so towards that right antenna. Taylor Smith, perfect in the air as an outlet in the back row.
Rampelberg to Aiko Jones. Walker swats that one to the court.
And I'm watching Coach Perez as this rally is going on. He seemed a little bit exasperated whenever Evans went back to Terry. I think he's wanting them to mix up the offense to incorporate the pin of Courtney Lush and the middle of Abby Walker. So that was a good decision. Run through the middle. It was a good pass. She was in a rhythm. That was a smart decision. But you can kind of see from Coach Perez, he wants that diversity in the offense.
I noticed it too. He was a little more, not vocal, but he showed a little more expression during that point. They were getting into the middles early, and Evans found Pittman Nelson there.
That was a dig by a middle to an attack by a middle. Great dig, good placement by Abby Walker and left back. Getting there, popping it up, and then running the gap set to Pittman, who's able to find gaps in the block.
Phoebe Awalea from the middle for Atlanta.
Pittman Nelson right in front of Awalea, but Awalea just a little bit higher on that attack, swinging up and over her, straight in front of her body.
Tell you what, I wouldn't have expected coming in. Of course, we were told late that Raven Colvin out. High swing from Terry is out of bounds. That Phoebe Awalea would lead the 4 starting middles in most attacks so far. That's a little surprising.
Wow, yeah, most definitely.
Already has 19 swings, has 5 kills in her first appearance since January 22nd. This time, the kill for Terry.
Love that manipulation over the ball by Terry. Coming in, facing angle, and then dropping her thumb, swinging down her body, down the line. She's got a lot of range.
Talk about that setter-hitter connection with a rookie setter, and that's a miss from Lewis.
Yep, that set just a little too low, or Lewis released too early. Lewis needs that set a little bit higher so she can get on top of it and not swing out.
Carlson bump set to Smith. Good press by Pittman Nelson. Reverse the side to Jones. Dug by Anderson. Running swing by Smith. And Atlanta scores. Evans couldn't handle it up front. Lewis was up there for Atlanta after a nice swing by Taylor Smith. Technical timeout, 8-6 Atlanta. And it's all even at 1 set. Tonight's MLV match on Roku Sports is brought to you by Franklin, by Ren Athletics, and by Spalding. It's been a great day for women's sports. Congratulations to the U.S. national hockey team on the women's side, winning in overtime against Team Canada for the gold medal. On top of that, you get first figure skating gold medal in a couple of decades plus. And how about the curling team going to the semis, a rare appearance, all on the women's side. So it's a great day for United States women's sports.
Love it. Yeah, well said. Way to tie it all in. I love curling. It's so much fun to watch, and it's not as mainstream, but if you get into it, it's really entertaining.
Curling has taken center stage with the cheating scandals.
That's true.
These Olympics, for sure. It's been the most attention it's ever gotten. But we can't wait for the LA Olympics a couple of years from now when these athletes, some of them, will take center stage. We had a technical timeout. We have a close third set in a match that's even at 1 set each team. Anderson with a swing. Now it's Edmund Pancake Terry there. Carlson, a rare over on 2. Read by Hiapo. Off the tape. Is it in? No.
I got to give some love to the liberos right now, playing so well. Hiapo, 16 digs so far. Been really, really good. And Rampelberg, 14 digs. Really extending rallies for their teams, and that's why we're seeing such long rallies.
Rampelberg from Belgium. Coach Van calls her a steadying influence, calming presence with a younger team. on the court. Of course, having to replace the great Morgan Hens, who signed with Omaha but then got traded to Grand Rapids. Corey Lewis collects a point for Atlanta.
Corey Lewis now getting some love, getting into a rhythm. We saw her on the slide attack. She did a good job at cutting it off quick. That was a great swing by her. And then this is a gimme as a middle. You don't have a blocker up in front of you, overpass. It's your job to take care of it and get the kill.
Last year, Corey Lewis had double-digit kills 9 times. This year, she has not once had more than 7 in a match. Right now, she's got 4 with some time yet to go. Timing wasn't there, and Pittman Nelson with the miss. Atlanta has jumped ahead right now. At this point, Columbus already used timeout and is down by 5.
And that misconnection between setter and attacker was a little bit of Columbus's downfall in their last match when they lost to Dallas. They just gave up 2 or 3 points in the red zone with that misconnection. That set just not perfect on the slide attack, which can be a really efficient attack from Pittman Nelson. But you can see them talking right now, talking about what they want, how they need to get into a rhythm with that, because it can be really good when they're on.
And yes, Ashley Evans is a veteran setter, but she's new to the program this year, having to learn all her hitters as well. For the second straight season, Major League Volleyball fans will be able to have a major influence on which stars will take the court for the 2026 Advent Health MLV All-Star Match. Fan voting starts today. Head to provolleyball.com/vote to make your selections.
I'm not sure if we're allowed to vote, but if we are, I will for sure be voting. It's so much fun to have a say in who gets to play in the All-Star Match.
I mean, at worst, you could like hide your IP address.
It's true. I am a fan.
Well, if they have a special block tool on there to know that we are not fans, we are commentators.
It's true.
Atlanta on an 8-3 run. 8 of the last 11 points for the Vibe. Smith, though, blasts that serve into the next town over.
Taylor Smith has been good tonight. Defensively, we haven't called her name a ton, but she's been putting in a lot of work, making good plays. She is kind of that stabilizing, good ball control player for them.
Oh, what an epic run by Megan Lush, and crashing into the seats. I hope she's okay. Immediately, Winston, a little bit of pain.
You love that kind of effort, though, from a leader. Coach Perez said she's the cornerstone of this team. She provides so much, and that right there is a sign of a good leader. You're going to pursue that ball until it hits the ground. Smacked the chairs a little bit, but she's back here on the court, looking okay. Yeah, all-around sign of a good leader.
And makes a great pass on the next point. Walker the kill.
That was a really smart decision by Walker. It's a fast slide, and she can feel the middle blocker not totally pressed. Awolea just a little bit too far off the net. When you have that space between your arms and the net, you can tip and take advantage of it.
Hiapo scoops another. And Akasha Anderson to the court.
There was nowhere to go but through. That was a triple block on Akasha Anderson. That set a little inside. There was nowhere that she could go but to just power through the block, to meet the block with physicality, and she did so really well.
8th kill for Akasha Anderson on 26 swings, also 9 digs, so she's nearing double-double territory. Would be her first career double-double if she gets there. It's a kill for Awolea. The previous point, though, it reminds me of something we were being told by Angel Perez. Take a look first at this one from Awolea, which is that he feels like where the women's volleyball game is evolving, you have to have hitters step up and execute against double block or triple block. The serving has gotten so good. They're pushing the passing away from the setter away from the 3-meter line. But we have a technical timeout. It's 16-10, and Atlanta is in front. It's all tied up at 1, but Atlanta, we've seen a big run from someone every single set. This one, it's been Atlanta, 16-10.
Yeah, Atlanta's in more of a groove offensively, hitting 182, whereas Columbus hitting around 100. Just a few too many attacking errors from Columbus, and Atlanta's done a good job of capitalizing on that. They also have amped up the service pressure. That has been really big for them because now Columbus's pass is starting to break down a little bit. They're not able to run as nuanced of an offense as they would want to, so just Atlanta kind of stepping up in those different areas.
Audrey Pack is in at setter for Columbus. Loading up Edmond. Off the fingers and beyond.
And that's hard. That was a lot of hands right in front of Leah Edmond, but she's one of those, just like Raina Terry, where she's not afraid to attack the block. She's going to go after it, say it's up and set. She knows when to cut it off. If you can cut it off at its peak, nice out-of-system set. Triple block right in front of her, so going high off the hands, cutting it off at the perfect time, and not letting it drop. That's the key.
That was in system for Terry. The point that I was trying and failing to make before is that where the game is at now, you have to convert out of system. That's the situation you're going to be in so often. Something we were talking about with Columbus's head coach. And the best teams, the best hitters, are the ones that do that. Is there a touch there? Columbus was thinking about it. Are they going to challenge this? We haven't seen one yet. They're thinking about it. And Angel Perez wants it, I think. No, actually, he wants the sub. Raynell Jones coming in for Abby Walker. Edmond is off the mark there.
If you're Columbus, you'll take as many of those hitting errors as you can get. That's rare from Leah Edmond, who's been really in a rhythm in this set. Let's see if Raynell Jones can cause some chaos from the service line. I've seen her do it before.
Third-year pro from Maryland. Played collegiately at Maryland. Side out quickly, though, for Atlanta.
That's Awolea really seeing the block well. Seeing and using. She sees that block is more so in her angle. That crossbody swing was kind of cut off. So she's going to drop her thumb, swing down the line, swiping it off the outside arm of Megan Lush.
Terry hitting line hard. Still going, though. After the multiple ricochets, Smith gets the touch. Block touch call and the kill for Taylor Smith.
That's that gritty defense that Coach Banworth wanted from her team. That was two gritty defensive plays back to back, just grinding through it, getting that ball up, and making something happen in transition.
Eight kills, 8 digs for Taylor Smith.
Leading the team in kills.
Tack one on for Raina Terry. That's kill number 14 to lead Columbus.
And Raina Terry's been a little quieter in this set, but to her defense, Columbus hasn't had a ton of opportunities because Atlanta's been pretty efficient putting the ball away when they get the chance.
Something Columbus did in the season opening win that they're also doing today. They're attacking Leah Edmond with their serving. And right there, that was her 28th reception, and it leads to a block.
And the mindset there by Coach Perez is we want to overload her. We want her to have to pass. We want her to have to attack and carry a big load for them there, blocking, etc. So they just want to overload their highest point scorer to see if they can make something happen there.
Third stuff block for Reagan Pittman Nelson. Edmond converts. Even crazier stat to follow up on Edmond, 28 serve receives already. By the way, she had 49 passes in the season opener against Columbus. You want to know how many times they have made the other starting outside, Taylor Smith, pass? 3. She has taken 3 receptions. So clearly they are targeting Leah Edmond.
They're targeting Leah to overload her, and that also shows how much respect they have for Taylor Smith in that serve receive and how much ball control she has on that first contact.
Right now, they get a point back, but Atlanta is still up by 6 with Megan Lush, the server. Lush just 2 kills, 2 errors up front. And Taylor Smith up to a team-leading 9th kill.
Atlanta's running a really balanced offense right now. Taylor Smith, like you said, fast arm swing down the line, beautiful swing. Next highest, Leah Edmond, 8. You've got some with 6, 5, and 7.
Anderson on the high set, yes.
After watching Akasha Anderson play for 2 matches now, I would say that that's her bread and butter, is attacking the block. You get that set, maybe it's a little tight. You've got 4 strong hands up on you, but she's got no fear when it comes to tooling off the hands of the block.
Put in Jalen Hodge to serve. Tough spot for a jump server there.
And sometimes you can tell from the toss whether or not that serve is going to go over the net. That toss just too far in front of her. She's not able to get her feet to the ball. So when your feet aren't to the ball, you can't get on top of it and contact it to get it over the net.
I feel like coming in cold with that high toss.
It's hard. Yep.
That is tough. Bashed down by Akasha Anderson. She's been pretty consistent. Double-figure kills, double-double now for Anderson. 10 kills, 10 digs.
Really good set, too. Putting her attacker in kind of a one-on-one situation. A little bit of space in between middle blocker and right side blocker.
It's her first career double-double. Carlson had that one set up for her, and she scores the point. Atlanta setter.
And it's those plays in transition, those out-of-system plays that Coach Perez wants to see this team just kind of lock in a little bit more on. Keep that ball on your side of the net. At least give your attacker a chance to score.
Now on set point. Anderson from the right. Columbus has got it. The ball lands out. A kill for Anderson.
If I saw that correctly, I believe that was a triple block up on Akasha Anderson, just narrowly missing.
"11 kills, 11 digs for Anderson. Awalea and Edmond double block. Atlanta wins the 3rd set, 25-18.
All around solid 3rd set by Atlanta, hitting .257. The block locked in. They did better defensively, mixed out around who attacked. Really good set by them.
And so through 3, Atlanta in front by a set. Welcome back. Kayla Banworth having a discussion with Taylor Smith. A few extra pointers, but overall has to appreciate what Smith has done.
Yeah, she kind of powered Atlanta in that set to victory. 4 for 8, no errors, hit 500. Been really good defensively as well. She's just been really good at problem solving, finding ways to score in transition, inside out. It's been really fun to watch. Very solid 6th rotation player. And coach said she needs point production from that position, and then she also needs ball control. And she gets both of those with Taylor Smith.
And when you get some point production, this is what happens. I mean, you have a night where it doesn't feel like Leah Edmond has been as efficient or productive as normal, at least yet. There's still time for her to change that, certainly. But if you have that versatility across the rest of your team, and that diversity really is the word I'm looking for there, then you could still solve problems. And Smith has helped them solve problems. Start of the 4th set. Atlanta's got a look. They've gone to Awalea early and often in these sets. How about back row Smith? Floor defense does the job, but it's a free ball coming back over. Atlanta's been ahead in this point. Back set, great point by the setter. Carlson mixing it up the entire time, and to punctuate it, Aiko Jones.
Yeah, and I think that's when Atlanta's at their best, when they're balancing out the offense. Carlson, beautiful set. Aiko Jones has been ripping it down the line, dropping that thumb, kind of finding that seam between areas 5 and 6 has been really good for her.
7th kill there for the Louisville alum. Anderson improving the double-double even further. Edmond takes it with her hands, and there's a net violation, point Atlanta.
That was a really smart shot, regardless of the net violation by Aiko Jones. That set's high. So Aiko Jones, as athletic as she is hanging in the air, waiting to take that ball. Really good hang time by her.
Do you feel like she's taking up her coach's advice of contacting the ball higher so far?
Absolutely, yes.
Smith, yes. Atlanta has started most of these sets ahead, and they do so once again in the 4th.
Atlanta's offense is definitely in a rhythm. Carlson doing a really good job of getting her body behind it, squaring those hips, and pushing that ball all the way outside to Smith.
Sets 2 through 4 now. Atlanta's taken an early lead in all of them, but Anderson with the answer.
That set a little off the net, I would say about 5 feet off the net, but Anderson with that ball even kind of behind her was able to drive through it. Watch her kind of just hang in the air, that ball not really in front of her, but she did a really good job at finding the hands of the block and swinging down the line.
Columbus has gone through a bunch of different lineup combinations, have mentioned several times the absence of Flor Marie Heredia Colon. I've been really impressed by Akasha Anderson making just her 2nd career start.
Akasha Anderson is one of those players where when she gets an opportunity, she's going to meet it head on, and she has shown that throughout these last 2 starts.
She's been going toe-to-toe with Taylor Smith, who answers there for Atlanta. Back row setter right there, which, by the way, Audrey Pack came in late in the 3rd set. What do you make of the setter change with the experienced Ashley Evans giving way to the rookie out of UCLA?
I think it's a really smart decision. We just saw some timing problems, some placement problems with Ashley Evans, the rest of her attackers, so you might as well throw in Pack.
And off the edge of the block and out for Aiko Jones.
That opposite position in professional volleyball is so incredibly imperative. You're not going to win this league if you don't have a high-scoring opposite, or at least an opposite that can put some points down, and she really can. Aiko Jones has burst onto the scene.
She's someone who scores points in multiple ways because they feel like her blocking is elite. And one of the best at that position. Scooped up nicely with one arm by Pack. Tries to get down there again, but Corey Lewis Lewis scores the point for Atlanta, which is in front 7-2. Just 1 point shy of the technical timeout. Angel Perez has seen enough. Timeout Columbus.
Corey Lewis came into this matchup with 39 kills. Here in this match, she's got 5. You just see how high up she gets. Her face is above the net, so she needs that set a little higher, and then she's also asked to go fast. She did a good job there, though, at fighting through that and still getting some kind of downward trajectory on the ball. Excuse me, the stats just corrected itself. 6 kills on 12 attempts, 2 errors, hitting .250. She's got a dig, so she's stepping up. You can tell she's getting into a rhythm. She's one of those players that's also just steady. The team feels very calm and comfortable around her.
I think when she's going well, we saw that replay last year, the caliber that she was at, where she was the Rising Star Award winner across the whole league. She was an all-star. She was an all-league second teamer. It felt like with her vertical that she would get up and she could basically just sort of slot the ball wherever she wanted, and the defense wasn't going to get there.
Yeah, and it's the angles that she creates because of how high she is.
She did on that last kill, forcing the timeout by Columbus. Great defense, both sides. Remix Terry. Awolea, left back, defense. Terry. Lush. Edmond sets Jones. She's blocked. Atlanta's challenging. Caleb Banworth having an extended discussion with our R1, Kristen Shizak. Still explaining to him the reason for the challenge. Remember, because you can't challenge in the middle of the point, you got to go back and explain where you want them to look, depending on what you're looking for. They're also, Leah Edmond, having animated discussion, a little bit of an argument. And Coach Banworth as well.
Yeah, what Atlanta's saying right now is she blocked on Columbus's side, she turned around, and then her back was in the net. And I believe the referee is saying that's not a fault, but Atlanta's saying if you're in the net, you're in the net. So they're challenging in the net.
Team Atlanta is challenging a net fault.
There is that caveat in the rules, though. The scenario you described. Yeah, I think they're looking at the rule book right now.
Yep. Atlanta's looking at the rule book.
Great shot by our crew. Remember, one thing we can say for sure is that hair is not a net fault. We know that.
Columbus saying it's her hair, it's her hair.
But
I am seeing some shoulder.
I'm seeing shoulder too. Based on that, we're going to see a successful challenge by Atlanta. See on our look that the replay center is saying successful challenge. They're still communicating that, it looks like, to the officiating crew. And maybe they're working through that rules interpretation. Yes, okay, we saw a net touch, but does that net touch actually justify a violation based on the situation that the player was in?
After review, there is a net fault. Atlanta wins the point and the challenge.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking too. If you are in the net, you're in the net.
Well, what you said at first was right. I went back, and we're going to discuss on the other side of the break. There's an interesting little asterisk to that rule that we'll discuss on the other side. Timeout, though. Atlanta ahead by 6. Okay, welcome back. Atlanta just won a challenge. I did want to clarify that in the rule book, Major League Volleyball, if a blocker, and we were able to find the look here separate from the replay system. So this is off of an attack, which I think makes this clearly a net fault. There is a caveat that if you are in full control of your body and you're transitioning, that would not be a net fault. I don't think that fits that criteria.
No, I completely agree. She's attacking. She's on her way down.
I think that's more
net
referring
fault.
to if you're away from the play, if you're maybe a blocker that wasn't really involved, you turn around, you're in control of your body, you graze it, it has no impact anywhere. On a play like that where she's swinging, attacking the ball, comes down, hits the net, there's no doubt about that.
No
right
refuting
there.
that. Yep, completely agree.
Worth noting for the future that there is a scenario, and it would actually kind of look like that, but not that one. I've seen a couple more missed serves, but Atlanta, I mean, just credit to the Vibe. The way that Columbus came out very early, took a bunch of momentum. Since then, more often than not, the Vibe have had control, and Iko Jones should get credit there for an ace.
Iko Jones with that flat float serve. Columbus was having really good passing, and when we see them start to break down with their pass, that's when they start to lose control a little bit.
This has truly been the matchup. Whoever starts to get on that run just runs away with it. We've seen it every set. Yeah,
that's really true. Whichever team kind of gets the momentum and can carry it, obviously that's the sport of volleyball. Right now, Atlanta hitting 500, looking really in a rhythm. Taylor Smith doing well. Iko Jones. Corey Lewis on the board. They've run through her a little bit more, and now the block is getting involved. And I said it, but whenever Columbus's pass starts to break down, that was a cover ball that they should get. Everything else just kind of starts to break.
Yeah, exactly right. Little bit of loss of focus or an edge. And the block against Terry. Taylor Smith continues her fine night.
Taylor Smith seems to be a coach's and fan favorite over there on that left pin. Watch her rise into the air. 5'10" is what her roster says, but look, her head is above the net. And you can't just throw your arms up. It's the press, the pushing the palms over. She did a really good job being nice and disciplined.
Atlanta in a virtual dead heat with Columbus in the blocking category. Ace Iko Jones running away with this or the Vibe.
There's some pace behind that serve. She is contacting it. There's so much pop and power behind that float that if your first step or if you're not moving with it as it's floating towards you, it's going to drop at the last second.
She has easy power in all aspects of the game. Oh, nice play to save it by Carlson. Finally putting an end to it there, Columbus, after the double-figure lead. I was going to say, by the way, too, that Atlanta's matching Columbus block for block. The block total is close to even. 8 for Columbus, 7 for Atlanta. And to be just about even in that category when Columbus is #1 in the league, that's all you can ask for Atlanta.
If you're Columbus, you really can't afford the controllable errors like that. You got to get your serve in. Of course, it has to be aggressive, but right now, if you're Columbus, you're thinking about passing and getting it back in transition.
Pittman Nelson for the Fury.
Coach Perez told us they're really pushing Pittman Nelson to run a faster ball. He said she likes a higher one, a little bit of slower one, so she can reach and hit around, but they're finding a happy medium where she's going fast. That right there, beautiful quick gap set, able to find some gaps in the block.
Atlanta did all it could to keep the ball up, but Megan Lush terminates.
Megan Lush putting some heat behind that swing. Megan Lush is kind of one of those players where she's very consistent and calm. So in big pressure situations like this where you're trying to claw your way back in and you don't want an error, she is a good one to go to.
The focus for them with her trying to get her more sets in system.
If Coach said last time they played 9 out of her 13 sets were out of system. They want that flip. They want 9 out of 13 to be in system.
They want their default sets to go more often to Raina Terry, the way that their team is constructed, which really changes things when that right side is your go-to in that way. Seen teams have success with it, though, in this league. Last year's champion, Orlando, with Abercrombie. Atlanta's doing everything to keep these points going, playing so confident, so aggressively, and that compete level that we talked about that Coach was looking for, Coach Banworth, is there. Left hand, Lush. Oh, wow.
That attack kind of caught Atlanta off guard. I don't think anyone thought she was going to be able to get that over, but I wouldn't put it past Megan Lush because her ball control is really good, and I think that this has a ton of ball control in it. I mean, just manhandling that, I would say woman handling that with her left hand to get it over, really well done.
Ashley Evans, by the way, back in there at setter. They put in Pack for a little while. Then almost a no look from Edmond.
And that was smart. A lot of the times when you're running that set inside like that, that area of the court's open for the tip.
We got a timeout. Atlanta in control in the fourth. This time last year, Atlanta was also 4-5. In fact, they started the season 6-8 before winning 13 in a row until a match against Omaha that was meaningless in the standings in the regular season finale. Then got upset in the playoffs, but that's another conversation. Atlanta last year started slow, finished the strongest record-setting winning streak in MLV history. They're hoping this will be the start of a similar thing. 4-5, a chance to get back to 500 tonight, and they look like they're going to do it. They're up 17-7.
And I think a big key to that, to Atlanta getting into a rhythm and kind of going on a run here, is Aiko Jones finding her place, scoring at high volumes.
As a team, they're converting on 44% efficiency in the set. The serving has been ramped up. Carlson, who had back-to-back aces earlier, adds one for Atlanta.
Atlanta has 5 service aces, and I believe none in that first set. Avery Carlson accounting for 3 of those.
First 2 sets, neither team had an ace. So those evolved, they all had to have come in the last 2 sets. Noticing too, by the way, that Columbus, speaking of serving, that's still an area where they need to be a lot better. They still don't have an ace. No aces, 12 errors for Columbus, which now uses its final timeout.
And that's something that you have to have in this league. You have to have the service pressure, because then, and Coach Perez said that, once you have the service pressure, it makes the opposing team's offense less nuanced. They're not able to run all of their routes that they can. And then you're better set up for success with your block and in transition. So you're right. I just don't think the Fury has provided that kind of service pressure to get the vibe off.
But Carlson is up to 4 aces. The rookie setter out of SMU, also played at Texas and Baylor, dialing them up. She had 4 aces on the season coming in.
Gotta love that tape serve. That shows you just how flat this is. And then you can see it just diving towards the sideline at the last minute. If your platform isn't angled, if your right shoulder isn't dropped enough, you're gonna get aced.
Not an ace, but it doesn't get back over the net.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. Even if you cause some chaos on the serve-receive line, it makes the offense less nuanced. It becomes obvious where they're going to go, and then you can get up and block.
Finally, Lush gets a good pass, and Terry explodes behind that volleyball. It's 20-8.
Atlanta's done a good job at emphasizing blocking Raina Terry in this set. That's only her 2nd kill. She's hitting in the negative, 1 error, 8 attacks. So they've done a good job at slowing her down.
Certainly is that she started out en fuego, but as the match has gone along, has been slowed down tremendously.
Taylor Smith having a phenomenal night there on that big attack, just hanging in the air and then avoiding the hands of the block.
Point again for Terry, who, based on the hot start, has utilized that, has been able to rack up the numbers. Overall, 17 kills, but the efficiency has gone down as the night has gone along. She's done her best, though, as Columbus gets their first ace.
That's a float serve where instead of dipping at the last second, where you've got to reach down really far, that one rises at the last second. That one's almost even harder to deal with. It's meeting you at your chest.
Couple of good serves from Ashley Evans. But the default has been Taylor Smith tonight for the 5.
Taylor Smith not fearing the block. Her bread and butter is that tempo set, because then she can use her strengths to her advantage. But that set was a nice high one, so she was patient on her approach and was still able to tool the block that was set more so in the line.
13 kills. And 1 dig away from a double-double for Taylor Smith. Raynell Jones has come in for Columbus in a clean kill.
Coach told us that Raynell Jones, she goes in, yes, she's good offensive as well, but she goes in when they need some defensive touches, when they need to slow down the opposing team. She's really disciplined at the net as well.
Leah in one of the best parts of her game on that pipe attack.
Especially when there's a triple block up in front of her. It's hard to find space in between the hands, but she does so really well and powers through. so you have to be quick. It was a really fast cutoff by her. You let it go too far outside, you're going to err. So that was a nice fast swing.
24-12, match point. I think Smith wanted the ace there to end it.
Yeah, you could definitely tell from her face. She wanted that.
Serving aggressively. The Atlanta 5 are back to 500, and they make up for that season opening loss to Columbus, and even the season series up as well, and they do it in dominant fashion.
In that fourth set, they hit 571, so incredibly efficient. Avery Carlson did a great job at getting every single attacker involved on offense. Corey Lewis found her spark there on the slide. Good pass. Like I said, cutting it off, swinging high, straight down through the block. All around, really solid team win by Atlanta.
No other way to put it. You were harping on the balance throughout the night, and I think that continued to be a theme. You get 7 kills from Alawea, 8 from Corey Lewis, 9 from Aiko Jones, 10 from Leah Edmond, 13 from Taylor Smith.
I think that's the most balanced offense I have seen all season long. Really, really impressive.
And they improved to 5-5 on the season, still even in the loss column with the 2 teams ahead of them in the standings. Atlanta middle of the pack in Major League Volleyball right now, but hoping to climb just like last year. For our entire crew, Madison Fitzpatrick, AJ Cannell, saying so long from Gas South Arena in Duluth, Georgia. Thanks for watching this presentation of Major League Volleyball on the Roku channel.